Hello, I'm Dr. Michelle Jorgensen at Total Care Dental in American Fork, and I am so excited today to talk to you about holistic dentistry. Now, this is something that's been an interesting transition for me in my life and in my practice, and so I want to give you a little background to me and how I got to where I am today. The traditional dental experience involves something that most of you probably have had experience with before. You go to the dentist, you sit in the chair, you open your mouth, they say, oh, you have this or this, you need this filling, you need this crown. They schedule you to come back, you get the treatment done, you go home for 6 more months, and then you come back and it starts all over again. Now, you might say, what's wrong with that? Is there anything missing in that experience? Well, I found that there's a lot missing in that experience. Because has anyone ever talked to you about why? Why do you need that filling? Why do you need that crown? Is there any way to prevent needing those things in the future? Are there other things going on in your mouth that could indicate problems overall with your health? There's so many missing pieces to that experience. And as I've discovered things in dentistry, I've discovered ways to fill in those missing pieces. And I'm excited to share with you today a lot of those things. Now, dentistry is interesting because there's over $20 billion spent every year on dental care products. I'm talking toothbrushes, toothpaste, not even going to the dentist. This is just stuff to keep your teeth cleaned. But there's been an increase in cavities, an uptrend in cavities since the 1990s. So why, if $20 billion are spent annually on dental care, why are dental problems increasing? And why is dental care getting worse? So these are all questions that I didn't know the answers to, but really bothered me. I'm kind of an answer person. I don't like to have questions that aren't answered. So these are some things that I was really working on in my head. During this time, I had an interesting personal experience. So I had been practicing about 15 years and doing it the traditional way, and everything felt great. I had a very busy practice. We felt like we were taking great care of people, but I personally started having some health challenges. And I joke that I don't have a good relationship with food. I've always struggled with food, and so I'm always trying new things and experimenting with this and changing this and cutting this out of my diet. And I've done that for years and years and years. And despite working so hard on my health was deteriorating. Things were getting worse, and I was not feeling well, to the point where I wasn't remembering things about patients. And I used to be able to look at an x-ray and I could tell you who that was, even if I hadn't seen them in months and months. I had an amazing memory and it was going away. I couldn't remember people. I couldn't remember their needs anymore. I was having numbness, and as a dentist, you can't do that. I was losing feeling in my hand and my fingers and my shoulder. And I was really concerned that I was going to actually have to give up my profession. In fact, I was going down that road. I was actually looking into selling my practice and figuring out something else to do in dentistry. And I was talking to everyone I could possibly find that might give me some answers to this. And finally, I was talking with a colleague in Pennsylvania, and he said, "You sound exactly like me." And I said, "Okay, well, tell me what you did." And he had an interesting story, actually. He'd had a lot of the same symptoms, and he went to doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor, and I was doing the same thing. And they diagnosed him with some rare disease that only Italians get. And anyway, it was so off the wall that he knew that couldn't be the answer. So he continued to research and found that he actually had mercury poisoning. And he said, "You sound just like me. You really need to look and see if you have mercury poisoning." So I thought, well, why in the world would I have mercury poisoning? I don't have any mercury fillings. And he said, "It's not the mercury fillings you have. It's the mercury fillings that you drill out every single day." Now, why in the world it had never occurred to me that that was an issue, I don't know. But I'd never thought about it. And going through dental school, being in the dental profession, nobody says a word about this. So in case you think the dentists are just hiding this and trying to get people not to understand what might be going on, we don't know. We haven't been taught this. No one talks about it. In fact, if you talk about it, you're pretty much labeled as a nutcase, and you might lose your license. So it's really something that people don't know about in dentistry, dentists included. So I was tested, and sure enough, off the charts mercury toxicity. So I went through a lengthy detox process. And as part of that detox process, the doctor shared with me that I could not continually be having more mercury added to my system, or there was no way I was going to get better. So what I had to do was rapid fire. I had to learn how to remove mercury fillings safely so that I wasn't constantly being exposed to those things. So as I learned and went down this pathway, I started asking myself questions. If this is causing so much harm to me and possibly my dental assistants and people that are sitting right next to me every day as well, what other things am I doing in my practice that could be causing harm to myself, to my team, or to my patients? And so this has started me on a journey through holistic dentistry to find what can I do to better help my patients and how can I teach them to help themselves. I'm big into preparedness and self-reliance. We have a big farm at home. I have goats and chickens, and we do all kinds of crazy things at home because I really believe that people should be able to help themselves. And so that's what I hope to share with you today as well. Some of those secrets are not secrets, but just mysteries, things that people don't understand about dentistry, things that people don't talk about in dentistry, and then how you can help yourself.